Hi, everybody. Welcome back to It's All Light. I'm your host, Natalie Baugh. And today, it's a moment we've all been waiting for. At least I've been waiting at least 2 years to get one of my dear friends on the podcast. Welcome, Erin Nielsen.
Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
This episode's going to be amazing.
Oh,
So Erin and I work together, and since I met her, I've been impressed with her, and it's just grown every day since. And I've been wanting to share her wisdom with everyone. And we're fun. We carpool to work, and we laugh, and we talk about a lot of things, and we'll divulge into some of them today. Yeah. So to begin, Erin, tell us about yourself.
So I was born and raised in Utah. I went to SUU for 2 years to study nutrition, and then kind of figured out that wasn't my path, at least the mainstream nutrition that's taught in colleges today. I like more like holistic nutrition and more like fundamental whole foods, salt, red meat, stuff like that. And I love all things nutrition, exercise, health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe let's start with, there's so much to get to know you, but let's start with you're big into CrossFit. And how long have you been into CrossFit? And then did the food come kind of after that? Or what was your childhood like? How did Erin become Erin?
Yeah. So I grew up like doing like team sports, but I never really fell in love with it. And then when I was 13, my friend did CrossFit. She was like, "Do you want to come do this with me?" And I was like, "Heck no. Like, I don't want to work out for fun."
You were 14.
13.
13. Wow.
Yeah. So 7th grade. And then I went with her, and I like fell in love with it. I feel like CrossFit's one of those things where it's like you just have such like a strong bond and community with everybody there. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started into CrossFit. But I did grow up watching my dad work out, and he had done like Ironmans and marathons and like worked out my whole life. So I feel like he's been a really big inspiration in who I've become and like who I want to be, just because he's so dedicated, and watching him as a little girl just being like, oh, I just want to be like him, you know?
I love that. I also know Erin's dad, and I feel like he just has that desire to live a healthy lifestyle. And for him, that's taking care of your body through fitness and eating healthy. And has he always been that way, like since you can remember?
Yeah. I actually asked him the other day, I was like, have you always been into this? And he was like, not always. Like growing up, he ate normal like everybody else, and like didn't really exercise. He played sports, but then it's around like when he got married, he just noticed he started feeling, or to my mom, he noticed he started feeling like just kind of sluggish. He's like, why do I have no energy? Why don't I like, I'm like young, like what is this? And so he got into like, running and eating clean. And then he works for Redmond. And so I feel like that kind of perpetuated him on the path of like clean eating and health conscious. Yeah.
So if you have listened to some of my episodes before, you know I work for Redmond as well, and it's Real Salt and Re-Lyte and other healthy living products, and I don't know, just helping us live a clean, real, simple life. And we're all obsessed with Redmond, if you can't tell.
Big advocates.
So how long have you worked for Redmond?
So in this position, what is it? 2.5 years? Are you 2 years? Yeah. So 2.5 years in this position, which is like marketing, social marketing, and affiliate work.
Partner affiliates, yeah. And it's fun. Erin and I get to work side by side most of the time. Yeah. Lots
really
of great work. There's so many amazing people I feel like we get to rub shoulders with, as well as just each other coming up with content ideas, and I don't know how to show what we stand for, which is really cool. So you feel like Redmond's been a big part of your life since your dad's been working here for over 15 years? Oh, wait.
Oh, like 30.
Okay, yeah. So he's been a part of Redmond for a while. And when you get to know Redmond, you start to get to know the culture, and it's very family-oriented, very living your best life, elevating your life, and everyone, we're all best friends. As you can tell, I have one of my best friends on the podcast. But what was it like growing up with being a part of Redmond?
Yeah.
Well, and she's a descendant.
Yeah. Descendant.
A descendant.
Yeah, I feel like it's always been a part of my life, and probably will continue to be, whether or not I stay working for Redmond. But it's been amazing. I feel like growing up, it was always like I never really knew what my dad did. I was just like, oh, he works for Redmond, and like my grandparents live in Redmond, and so I was like, I never really knew what it was. And like I always told myself growing up, like I'm never gonna work there, just because I wanted to be like different. I was like,
do your own thing.
yeah. But then working for other companies, and like other companies are great and other jobs, but like Redmond is so special, and it like has a culture that no other place has.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big reason why when people come here, they stay here.
For years and years and years.
Yeah, they've worked other places or they go to different places and they're like, oh my gosh, Redmond is so unique in that they care about their employees, and like it feels like a friendship, and like you walk in and it feels like, yeah, you're going to a family reunion versus like you don't want to be there.
Totally.
It's so fun.
And that the CEO, Rhett Roberts, he is big on that idea of like, you don't just work so you can retire. You know, work is such a big part of your life. And so you work and you want to have it be fulfilling and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they live their purpose. I think you talk to most people and work is work, but like we all enjoy being at work.
And the people is like, our team is incredible.
Oh, our team's so fun.
So fun.
We have quadricles, 4 desks put together, and we just laugh and work all day long.
So fun. Yeah.
So now tell us, what do you light up about?
Probably just kind of what I said earlier, just like health, fitness, nutrition. Like that's really what gets me going.
A big part of you.
And I still am looking into like other ways I can like study that, because obviously mainstream college nutrition wasn't my thing, but like holistic certifications or stuff like that, because I'm just so passionate about that kind of stuff, and I want to like help people in that way. And I think Redmond's like a way I can do that, or like a vessel, because I think Redmond has those values as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Our Redmond Farm store, I mean, they vet every product we sell like through every ingredient to make sure it's good for you. And
quality.
I love being able to shop there and not have to question what I'm putting in my body. It's so nice.
It's so good.
So Erin did start not a podcast. I mean, you could, but a Instagram profile where she would post some of her food ideas, because she's always just eating simple yet healthy, protein-packed foods. Yeah. What are some of your favorites right now? They kind of go up and down with different trends, but
I'm kind of off the dates train.
Oh yeah,
remember how I was on that?
Loved dates.
I loved
Everything
dates.
was dates.
Peanut butter and dates. Yeah, protein and dates.
The just ingredients: roasted peanut butter chocolate. Add a little bit of water and it makes like a Nutella, and then you dip the date in it. Yeah. That's actually pretty good.
It is good, but I ate that for like a year and a half probably. But I'm off that.
Cottage cheese kick now.
Cottage cheese, those avocado oil chips.
Oh yeah, the Boulder avocado oil chips sold at Redmond.
So good. Blueberry bowls, the like frozen blueberries, kefir, just ingredients, protein.
Oh, I forget to add the kefir.
It's so good.
Oh, and pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
Yum.
Even Dave likes it.
I brought that to work today.
Did you?
Inspired by Erin. You guys, we'll get into CrossFit in a minute too, but eating healthy. Why do you love it so much?
It just makes me feel good. Like, I feel like mentally my mind's more clear. Just physically, I love feeling like capable and confident and strong. I feel like that's a huge thing. Like my whole life I had been like kind of a stick my whole life, and like feeling strong is like a feeling that I can't match. Like it fulfills me and it makes me feel like accomplished. So
I like that feeling of accomplishment. Yeah. When was like in your journey with health and fitness, when was a moment where you like felt that the most?
Yeah. Probably when I did my first half Ironman. Like that was something I had grown up watching my dad do. So I always knew it's something I wanted to do, but I don't know. I felt like I prepped for it the best I could, and like I was so excited, and I've never felt more ready for anything. Like just like psyched and amped and excited. Like even ever since or ever before in a race, like I never felt that. And I don't know, I felt so proud of myself. Like, you know, like crossing the finish line after you do a race, you're just
such
so
a
emotional.
Good feeling.
And
it's
like,
so emotional.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, even just watching a marathon of people I've never met before, I cry. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are awesome.
It's so cool. So probably then.
Well, and you did it with your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a different one.
Oh.
My first one I didn't do
that
with
was
him,
your second
but my
one?
second one I did with him. That was really special to do with him.
How old were you? When was this? the first one?
The first one was when I was 19, and the second one was when I was 21.
Mm-hmm. And you are 22.
I'm 23.
You're 23. That's right. Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
And what other aspirations do you have? Like I know racing, your dad's done a few, and now he focuses more on just his daily exercising.
Yeah.
What do you see in your future?
Yeah. I do want to do a full Ironman. It scares me. Like, the thought of it scares me just because it's so long and it takes so much preparation and time, and it's a lot. But I really do want to do a full in my lifetime. And other than that, like right now, I feel like I'm just enjoying what my body loves doing. Like, it's CrossFit. I've been into like swimming lately, which has been really fun, and like step ups and stuff.
Step ups like the stair stepper?
Yeah, stair stepper. Yeah.
Speaking of, if you want to join us, our work is doing December Mount Everest, where you do 58,000 steps throughout the month of December, and it's the same as Everest. 29,000 feet. I was researching it this morning. 2,900 floors or so. Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
excited.
30 minutes a day every day of December.
Yeah. We'll just be at the stair stepper at Vasa, North Orem. Okay. But also, so Erin, when I started working at Redmond, they had done a Spartan race as a company and had started CrossFit training with Coach Erin. And so when I joined, they had already done the first Spartan, and we just kept doing CrossFit, and then we did a Spartan together. And it's like every Tuesday, Thursday, we just went across the street to a gym and we'd do a CrossFit workout. So that got me into CrossFit, and just like seeing the progress over a few weeks of just a little bit heavy lifting, but like safe, and just like realizing you're capable of so much more. Like, it's really so cool. And I know there's a lot of gyms that do similarly, like Train Insane or whatever, but I don't know, CrossFit's a really cool community. A lot of the other people we work with too are also in that community and space, and we all work together, and I don't know. Fun. It's so fun.
It's fun seeing everybody get stronger too. Like when you started, you got a lot stronger.
Got a little bit of muscle definition. Yeah. It's tapered now, but we're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also did that Spartan together, and it was so cool just to like, you're carrying how big was that giant ball thing we carried? The rock or buckets, or you just pick up heavy things and you're just like walking and you're just doing it, and you're like, wow. And I did the rope climb.
Yeah.
Erin taught us how to do the rope climb, and I did it during the race. It just feels so good to accomplish things that you probably didn't think you could do.
Yeah.
Or like those seeking for a healthy life, that's like Make America Healthy Again, right? Like everyone's kind of learning about this. It's all over our social media. Yeah. Why is that important?
I just feel like it's like critical. Like, I feel like how you treat people, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about others, how you feel about the world stems from you. And like, if you don't feel good, if you're not moving, if you're not treating yourself right, like, that's going to bleed into every other aspect of your life. And so, I don't know. I think just starting with like, and like small changes, like what do you put in your body? How can you make it a little bit better? Like changing your salt. That's something small you can start with.
You guys.
A plug
we
for Redmond.
Could go on and on. And this salt literally is life-changing. Yeah. I'm like, how did I live my life up until Redmond without Redmond real salt?
It's
so,
crazy.
Talk to me if you want some. I have connections.
Yeah, but just little changes. I feel like it makes the biggest difference in the long run. And then just like being old and being able to like play with your grandkids and not be like dependent on other people, and like, I don't know. Yeah.
Have you seen that one commercial where it's like a little grandpa and he's like doing some dumbbell pickups and stuff? Yes. And it's like every day you see him working out, and then his granddaughter runs in and he like lifts her up to the tree. And I'm like getting emotional. I'm like, it's just worth it. It is.
It is.
You feel better. You live better.
Yeah.
And you're more present in your relationships.
Yeah. And I saw this quote that was like, working out doesn't seem important till one day it's like, I can't remember exactly, but just like saying that one day it's like, it makes sense why all those little things mattered.
Yeah. It was probably James D, because I saw the same thing. We love James D. He's great.
He's great.
And no, he just posted like, your muscle is here now, and it's just going to go away if you don't do anything with it. So do something with it so that when the time comes, when you're getting older, you're not falling apart because you have muscle.
Yeah.
Especially for women.
Yeah.
Which, I had ChatGPT make me my powerlifting 3 times a week. I'm like, I'll start there.
That's awesome.
Lower body, upper body, full body. And I've done it a few times. I'm starting to get in the routine of it. But like just going to the squat rack and braving my fear, or I was doing a chest press and I was like struggling and this random guy just runs over and helps me and I'm like, thanks. Or like I didn't know how to do a seated, I don't know, like shoulder,
like
row.
Yeah.
And so these guys just like showed it to me and I'm like, great, thanks.
That's awesome.
So I don't know, it's just fun to like just try something new as well as see yourself get stronger.
Yeah.
Like carrying boxes isn't as hard as it once was, and functional fitness.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. So before we go into a day in the life of Erin Nielsen and like your schedule and stuff, because that to me is like, okay, now how do I live like this? Anytime I do something that's like Erin, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like Erin. Like I'm getting my life together. And Erin and I balance each other out a little bit. Every time we drive past Deer Creek, I'm like, do you want to go jump in and be spontaneous?
Nat's very spontaneous and I'm very by the book.
but she's still fun. But one day we're going to be jumping in Deer Creek, probably next July. But tell us a little bit about the things you avoid. You know, like ultra processed foods, of course.
Yeah.
But like, tell us your relationship with like sugar, seed oils.
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like when we give people a list of like things to be aware of. Fragrances. We were talking about Dime Beauty. We like Dime Beauty.
Yes.
But, okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but basically everything you said. Like I avoid like little to no sugar. I used to be no sugar, but now like I'll have a bite of somebody's dessert just because that's an experience I want to have. Of like I want to taste something, but that doesn't mean I need to eat the whole thing. You know? And so like little to no sugar. No seed oils, no ultra processed foods. When I say no seed oils, it's like sometimes you go out like Texas Roadhouse, me and Dave love, but like I'm sure they use some seed oils, which is unfortunate. But
that's just what's been used for forever, basically.
And hopefully that'll change. Bobby.
RFK.
RFK. But so mostly those things. Like I focus on whole foods, meats, fruits, veggies, sourdough. We've been into sourdough.
Erin was the sourdough queen, and then finally I jumped on the bandwagon, and I get it. I love it so much.
You're making like a few loaves a week.
Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed.
So sourdough, raw milk, just stuff like that. Like quality food that...
Farm fresh eggs.
Yeah, people have eaten forever.
Pasture raised.
Yeah. I feel like people make it so complicated when it's just like, if you just eat real food majority of the time and move your body, you'll be just fine.
Yeah. And it's hard too when sometimes you're like, oh, but like the pasture raised eggs are like $10 more. Or, I mean, raw milk is pretty expensive. So sometimes I don't even buy the raw milk. But like A2, there's like other options that you can start doing little by little. Yeah. But start a little garden, grab a pepper, grab a tomato, support local farmers.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a little bit more, but I feel like that cost is more beneficial than it not.
Yeah. And I think there is a way to do it like budget friendly too. Like we were at Costco the other day and like Brussels sprouts, a huge bag of them was like $3.
Oh, no way.
And I was just like, I mean, there are expensive things and like raw milk and like grass-fed, grass-finished beef are those things. They're pretty expensive. Yeah. So maybe just starting out, instead of finding the like highest quality of everything, it's just like, just do whole foods. No matter what quality, just do whole foods for a little bit.
So and whole then I foods feel like, means...
Yeah, just like beef, but it doesn't have to be grass-finished. Or like milk, but it doesn't have to be raw milk at first. Like,
just start
simplify it. And then
like avoid the ultra-processed foods.
Yeah, as you can with the budget you have. Like,
and then hop on Redmond and get the real salt seasonings. Yeah. Honestly, like if you buy a big bag of Brussels sprouts, in my mind, it's like, yeah, you don't want to get sick of eating Brussels sprouts every day, but like you could have your Wasatch steak Brussels sprouts with your bacon and your balsamic, and then you can have your just normal salt and pepper and add it to a salad. Speaking of, I had the best salad. I got to plug in real fast. It was arugula, pears, pomegranates, and walnuts with a little bit of salt, a little bit of balsamic, a little bit of olive oil.
That sounds amazing.
It was so good.
That sounds incredible.
And it's so simple, pretty cheap. Okay, keep going.
That's amazing.
Keep going. What else are you loving? And then we can start.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I think that's majority.
So no seed oils means no sunflower, safflower,
canola.
So what oils are good? Maybe we start there instead of going through the list of bad. We start with what can we eat? Or what should we
Like
be eating?
avocado oil, coconut oil,
Probably olive oil.
extra virgin olive
Extra
oil.
virgin olive oil.
Like tallow, butter.
Oh, yeah, beef tallow.
I feel like all those are really good.
Oh, yeah, what kind of butter
Clean.
should people be eating?
I don't know. Organic butter.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been on the kick of the Irish Gold.
oh,
It's expensive,
yes.
but it tastes good.
That's the one at like Costco. You know
Oh,
what that
it's
is?
similar. They have Irish Gold or the
Kerrygold.
or the Kerrygold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Irish one. And then there is an organic butter Costco does sell.
Oh, nice.
Don't know the brand though. Probably Kirtland.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other things that you're like I try to avoid?
I'm sure there are, but I
Stevia
can't
sometimes,
remember.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been trying to avoid stevia as much as I can. I mean, it's in a lot of things and it's in a lot of the healthier options.
yeah.
Our Re-Lyte has a little bit of stevia in it, and sometimes you need a little flavor, but we do have the unflavored. You can
Yeah,
add to
which I love.
smoothies and that's all Erin drinks is unflavored Re-Lyte.
Yeah. I'll drink our flavored occasionally, but just for majority of the time. Other things that reminded me, not stevia as much. I mean, like I do try to avoid stevia and like natural flavors, but more than that is like artificial flavors, sucralose, Ace K, like those not natural,
Dextrose.
can't remember what they're called. Artificial
Sugars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that.
Are there any sugar substitutes that you find okay?
I don't know a lot about allulose, but I've heard that one's a little better. Monk fruit, I feel a little bit better about.
Coconut sugar, maybe?
Coconut sugar, honey, maple syrup.
Honey and maple
I prefer
syrup, yeah.
those three probably.
Yeah, if you need
the
something
most.
sweet, there are ways around it. I was in a kick once, inspired by Erin's dates. I bought a lot of dates. I think I still have some in my fridge I need to throw away. But I tried to make like the date bark, and sometimes it's just so hard. So part of me is like, I would rather not have that and then just eat a brownie with sugar
Like
in it occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think
honestly,
there's
that
value in
works
that
for
too.
me. But I'm also more a salty person than anything. I'll eat my popcorn every week, sometimes twice a
Popcorn's
week.
the best.
Salisbury popper.
What's that?
It's just that little plastic one on Amazon, and you just like
yeah.
throw the kernels in, throw it in the microwave. You don't need to even add oil, and then the Redmond powdered salt.
Ooh,
So good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I need to get
Okay, are we ready to dive into a day in the life of Erin Nielsen?
Yes. What does my typical day look like?
What time do you
I
go to
wake
bed?
up-
Let's start there.
Oh, I go to bed probably 10:30,
Okay, pretty good.
and then I wake up at between 6 and 6:10. I get ready.
Are you
for
an alarm
CrossFit.
setter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I changed it to the like beautiful music instead of the blaring alarm, and it's
Yeah.
a game changer.
Yeah, there's one that like gradually gets louder.
Yeah, it's so nice. Okay, so I do that. I get ready. I get all my work stuff ready. And then I go to CrossFit at 7, work out for an hour, and then come up to work all day. And then usually after, I want to do some form of movement. So whether that's a walk, whether that's the stair stepper, whether that's stretching, it's getting cold, so I don't walk as much, but I love walks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me too.
then, dinner.
Yeah, what's a typical dinner? What do you make? And when did you eat breakfast?
I eat breakfast up here, usually.
Once we get
Unless
to work.
I'm at
We're Michael
home.
Scott.
Yeah. Clock in and eat
Eat
breakfast.
Literally.
And, dinner, I don't know, it depends. Like, sometimes I'll eat at Dave's and it's like eggs and bacon and sourdough. Or I'll have like meat and veggies at my house, or
So like a steak, chicken,
Yeah.
ground beef, and then in the morning it's usually some cottage cheese,
Yeah.
either with chips or
or
toast.
sourdough. Yeah. I love my blueberry bowl. I usually have that
yeah.
once a day, whether it's in the mornings if I work from home.
Well, because
or
you
like
get
later.
the Greek yogurt protein and then add in a scoop of protein powder and then add in blueberries. Sometimes I add honey in mine.
So good.
But yeah,
So
I
much
have
protein,
that. I have
too.
that for lunch today.
So good.
Yeah, and a lot of protein. How much protein do you eat a day? Do you ever keep track?
Yeah. I used to track my food, but then I got a little bit anal about it, so I had to stop. But probably 130 to 150 a day.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I try to get my body weight in grams per day.
Body weight in grams. Yeah, that's usually a good rule. I haven't ever really tracked what I eat or anything like that. Do you find it beneficial?
I think it is. At least as a tool to like figure out what you're eating, because I think a lot of people aren't eating what they think they are. They're eating a lot less protein, a lot more carbs, a lot more fat or whatever. So I think it's a good tool. I did it for like probably 2 weeks or 3. And then I was like, you know what? This is getting a little too obsessive. I'm getting a little too obsessive about it. I'm going to take a step back. But at least now I know like how to look at a plate and know what's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. How to look at a plate and know what's on it, meaning were you like measuring out your proportions?
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Yeah. And just like knowing, oh, this is protein, this is fat, this is carbs, and I have a good mix of it all.
Mm-hmm. And like what your body needs. Because every body does need maybe different proportions, or I don't know if you have gut health things, like if you avoid, I don't know, there's so many things people have to avoid and you have to make it work for you.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. And we'll end with 2 more things. Why do you do what you do? Like why is your life the way it is?
I think part of it is my personality. Like I'm very like, I love structure. I love routine. So really it's not hard for me to do this stuff. It's like I find safety in routine. But I think
She's
I
the
just
most wise 23-year-old I have ever met. Like literally, even relationship stuff, even just her soul, she knows a lot. Okay, keep going. I cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, so I think I just love it. Like I genuinely love it. And it makes me feel so good. And like I feel like it bleeds into relationships and spirituality and work. And like I just feel like it just makes me better. So.
Yeah. And then Erin inspires others. I mean, so many people at work who've gone to her CrossFit class, as well as like Erin watched that Liam Hemsworth movie and was like, let's do a fast. And I was like, I'm in. Count me in for trying anything.
I did it for longer. You did it for 72 hours.
We did 48 hours together.
We
and
did.
Then I did a 72-hour fast. Yeah. And then my dad calls me the other day and he goes, me and Mom just met with a nutritionist, and turns out 72-hour fasts are pretty good for your body, because they were giving me so much crap for doing it. But no, occasionally something like that is really healthy for your body. So maybe we'll do that again. Maybe it's about time.
Oh, so hard. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. And then I asked you to find a quote that you love.
Oh, yeah.
I want to end on.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone listening, while she pulls up her quote, just like your takeaway for today, I feel like is just like, what's one thing that you can do to make yourself feel better? Whether it's what you're putting in your body or going out and moving your body, like it really does take a toll on just life and who you are and becoming.
Yeah, I love that. So this is just kind of like talking about the ebbs and flows of life. Just because I am very kind of rigid and structured, it just reminds me of like, it's good. But it just says, we have so little faith in the ebb and flow of life, of love, of relationships. We leap at the flow of time and resist an error in its ebb. We are afraid it will never return. We insist on permanency, on duration, on, I think that's continuity. That's what I was asking earlier. When the only continuity possible in life, as in love, is in growth, in fluidity, and freedom. So kind of a mouthful, but basically just saying that like we're so excited about the ebbs, but then we like resist an error. Or we're so excited about the flows, but then we resist and terror in the ebbs, and just like, but life is just like that. It's going to go up and it's going to go down, and like, I don't know, just like trusting that that's there for a reason and it'll all work out how it's supposed to. So.
That's beautiful. That's by Morrow Lindbergh.
Yeah.
We'll post that quote because that's really cool.
Yeah. I love it.
There are ups and downs, and that's life. I love that. Any final words?
I don't think so. I'm happy to do this. I'm glad I did.
I'm so glad you did.
I'm sorry it took me 2 years.
Okay, 100th episode celebration though.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day. Follow James D. Follow Erin. Move your body. Eat as healthy as you can. And go fight win. See ya. Bye.
Bye.